Scott County Board of Adjustments are called to order. The first item is approval of the April 7th minutes. Let the board members look that over, and I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, right.
So we don't know about Stewart. You know Stewart actually has resigned?
Yeah, that's what I was told. I don't know.
Stewart actually resigned?
To my knowledge.
We have heard that
yes.
it had, but
I haven't received a letter or anything, but
I mean, it's beginning to look like it.
We can fire him.
Okay.
I move to approve the minutes.
Motion been made. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Motion was made by Ms. Isaacs, second by Ms. Stamper. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Second item of business is the swearing in of the applicants and anyone that wishes to speak tonight. Charlie?
Could everyone sign in, please stand and raise your right hand, please? Could about half of you sit down, couldn't it?
Too much talking.
Do you all swear or affirm the statements you're to make tonight to be the truth, to the best of your information and belief? Yes. My goodness. Thank you.
Everybody here's talking.
Don't insult the guests.
First item of business is old applicants is S-2016-04. Susan Connor applying for a variance. Are they not here tonight?
no. I recommend we leave it on the agenda for one more month. I know Joe and I talked to them in our office since our last meeting. It sounds as though they're going to try to draw the property lines without needing a variance. So
Okay.
I'll leave them on the agenda for now, but
Okay.
it's unlikely that we'll hear from them.
Okay, so we'll just do a continuance on this application until next month. Okay. So this brings us to our new applicants. First applicant tonight is S-2016-13, which is Greg Brandenburg. And Greg is located at 977 Anderson Road, and he is requesting a variance to reduce the side yard setbacks from 50 to 18 feet. Joe? Matt?
The applicant's property is a little over 6.5 acres in size. As you can see from the aerial photo, it is significantly more narrow than it is wide. It's kind of a long, skinny lot. As such, there's also some terrain issues at the project site that the applicant included in their materials. A photo just kind of showing some of the slopes that exist on their property. So as you can see, there are some unique circumstances on the site that necessitate a variance request. I'm recommending approval of this variance with just the conditions that they follow, all the other zoning and subregs, and that they obtain a building permit before they begin any construction.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Mr. Brandenburg, would you like to address the?
I don't know what to say, but thank you all for this. Hopefully, I just need to get a bill.
Could you come to the podium, please, so they can get it on recorder?
As you can see, the terrain we live up on a hill, and the best place to build a garage is pretty close to the property line. Hopefully, I'll get your blessing and build it.
Okay. Are you aware of the conditions that Matt has proposed? They're pretty standard.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Yes, sir?
I think I own the
Would you
property.
come to the podium, please?
I think I own the property next door to that
Anyhow, I've got it on this agenda to come up here.
Could you state your name, please?
Morris Grizzle.
Yes, sir.
I own the property at 1138 Anderson Road. And I don't want this to happen. I don't need no 18-foot variance from a 50-foot. I don't know what they're building, nobody's talked to me about it or what. I have no idea what's going on.
I was just trying to build a garage.
I mean, somebody could come and talk to me about it. I wouldn't have to come up here. It disappoints me to have to come up here
And where do
to
you live?
defend my own
I'm sorry,
property.
I'm sorry.
You know. Oh, I'm against it.
Let me-
If that's what I'm supposed to do here, I don't know.
Yeah, you can speak.
Do you live next to him?
I don't live there, I own the property.
And how large is the property you own?
7.5 acres.
And what's your concerns again about him building the
I
garage
don't
there?
have any concerns, I just don't want him that close to me. If somebody would come to me and talk to me about it, so I wouldn't have to come up here tonight, it upsets me even because I had to come here. I know nothing about it. Last time I got one was on Rogers Gap, and I was in Florida, and I didn't even get the permit, so, and it was passed.
You're at 1138.
I'm assuming that's what it is, that's all it's telling me.
Mine's at 977.
This is all it's telling me, I don't know why they sent it to me unless it's,
Let's see here.
It's right here.
Maybe we can,
This is the property
This is
where
the property.
he's trying to build. We sent all these ones outlined in blue. We have to notify, by state requirement.
where's he at?
He says he's 11.
I'm not,
don't see
38 Anderson, he's somewhere here.
He's not even close to me.
one
Why
on,
got a notice?
this first one was 854 Anderson, and this is 977 Anderson, and that's the only thing I've got on Anderson.
What's your address on Anderson, sir?
Now,
And maybe,
1138,
you may be one of these properties on Muddy Ford that
Yeah.
notified, this.
It's a trust.
Morris Grizzly.
Oh, Grizzly, yeah, he's on
5198 Muddy Ford Road.
He's in the back.
I think
Oh, he's in the
What
back.
about that?
I was just saying, I think that's the reason, I think, cause, yeah, one of these properties.
5343 Muddy Ford Road?
That's where I live, yes. But I own this property here, I don't know why they sent me this, that's what I'm trying to find out.
We're just required to notify all the property owners that adjoin.
So where does that
this
back up
property.
to my property at?
Well, I don't have the addresses shown on here, but you're one of these properties back here. He's trying to build a garage close to
So
this.
I don't have
to
an
this property line.
idea, I don't have no idea what you're trying to do then. I don't know which property or anything.
You're one of these two in the rear.
I don't know which property
He's,
though.
he's trying to build closer to this property line, closer to 997 Anderson Road. He'll still be meeting the 50-foot setback. from
Why
the
would
property,
they send me a letter like this?
Just because we have to notify you.
He's one of these,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and this is gonna be.
I'm sorry for the confusion.
What I meant.
I'm sorry too, I hate to have to come
And
up
he
with
wants to
something
build
like
this
this way.
here?
I have
Yeah.
other things I could be doing.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No, sir.
Well, I need to know what property it is, I guess.
977 Anderson Road is where he
I
lives.
understand that,
Okay.
but he says it's not close to this property, it's some other property.
Yeah, he's building closer to 997.
That's not even close to this.
Now, you're saying you're 1100.
I'm 1138 Anderson Road.
Maybe
Yeah.
it was, you think it was an error that you got the notice?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
You know,
Sounds like it was.
Like I said, I've had other things I could do besides come up here.
Sorry.
Yeah, we apologize for that, but
Still, I wanna know what's going on, but if it's backing up to my property, I wanna know.
You have property on Muddy Ford?
I have property, yes, on my floor.
We backed up to some property on Muddy Ford, but we would still have a 50-foot setback from the
Do
Muddy
you know
Ford
what,
properties.
do you know what property it is you back up to?
I think you own some of them trailers that's
I
back
own
there.
a lot of property on Muddy Ford, that's,
Where you got like 3 or 4 trailers on one lot or something.
I don't know. I have the address to where I can.
yeah.
But where you're wanting the variance is not from the back of your
No, ma'am.
property, it's
No,
from the side,
from the
right?
side,
yes.
So it
It's the
wouldn't
side.
affect him
At all.
at all, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
He wouldn't be upon your line at all.
Well, in the
some way you could send a guy a plat or something, instead of just a letter like this, so you'd at least have some kind of an idea of what was going on? So you wouldn't have to come up here to kind of defend yourself for nothing.
It would be a better idea.
I mean, I was in Florida, and my son got the letter.
Mhm.
I didn't know what, it
Yeah.
was on Roger's Gap.
Yeah.
I didn't come.
This one right here, 977, is this gentleman's property, right here. And then this one here is your property on Muddy Ford.
Okay, this is address is what, 98?
5198. Yeah.
Okay. If it don't bother me in the back, I
Yeah.
don't care. I was didn't want on the south.
Yeah.
You got the same kind of lot I got.
Yes,
It's along
yes,
there.
yes.
Appreciate it, I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else to address this application? Entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion, we accept the variance.
Motion's been made, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion been made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Applicant approved. Thank you, sir.
Oh, he lives on Anderson
Brother,
Road.
just brother, isn't it? Or,
Yeah.
no, it'd be his,
Oh.
it'd be his nephew. So, there's some key.
I guess.
Because I already heard that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's already that.
Yes,
Okay.
okay.
All right. All right, that moves us to S-2016-14, William and Elizabeth Britch of 2111 Ironworks Pike, Georgetown, Kentucky. They are requesting a conditional use permit to operate a bed and breakfast. Matt?
So the project site for this one is roughly 5 acres. It's also zoned A1 agricultural. The applicants are looking to operate a bed and breakfast on this site, which is a conditional use in the A1 zone. There's an existing tree line that surrounds the subject property. A note in the staff report that the closest residence to this appears to be about a quarter mile away, so it's unlikely to negatively impact other neighboring properties. The tree line should help minimize any off-site impacts, given that most bed and breakfasts have similar noise patterns to just a typical residence, which already exists on this property. The driveway seems like it'll be large enough, and it looks like there's a parking area that can handle any visitor parking or anything of that nature. So I'm recommending approval of the conditional use permit for the bed and breakfast, with the condition that they follow all other zoning and subregs, that they comply with all federal, state, and local regulations. Also noting that conditional use permits become null and void with the sale or transfer of ownership of the property, and that they'll have to come back before this board if there's any changes in the conditions under which their application is approved. I did think it was important for possibly for this board to ask for a commitment from the applicants as to how many units and or bedrooms they would be having on their property, so that that number doesn't fluctuate over time.
Okay. The applicants like to address the board?
We would just have one unit. It would just be one bedroom. No kitchen. Anything like that.
Okay. So there'd just be one couple or whatever at a
Right,
time
yeah, one.
staying per
Right,
night?
one family or couple
Right.
or whatever
Right.
at a time. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
No room for anything else.
okay. Any questions from anybody?
Okay. I'll move to approve. Oh,
We have an opposition.
oh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
My name's Kyle Fannin. I'm the pastor of Bluegrass Baptist Church, and we're sadly here to oppose the conditional use permit because of April 14th. The commissioners and the planning and preliminary drawings for our church building on the adjacent property were opposed by the Bridged family, requiring on an A1 conditional use church property that a commercial land use barrier buffer of living plants be planted along the property line because the Bridged family failed to disclose to the commission at that point that they intended to begin a bed and breakfast business as their reason for requiring planning and zoning to impose a commercial use sanction on a church. We are a non-commercial entity. My associate pastor was here for that meeting and that evening. It was news to us that it would be imposed upon us. It's a $125,000 landscaping cost for us to put on the north border of our church property on the contiguous border with the Bridged family. We feel they misrepresented the facts to us and to the commission and won a sizable financial favor from the commission in the process to benefit their business. We've discovered that it will cost us, as I said, over $100,000 to build this 11th hour addition by the Planning Commission of a land use buffer of living plants that is not required on any other church or A1 property in the county. We would ask that the commission grant a release to Bluegrass Baptist Church to remove the land use barrier from our conditional use or impose the same requirement on the adjoining property line for the Bridged family. In other words, we don't necessarily want them to have to put the land use buffer in, but we should not be asked to carry the cost for a land use buffer to benefit their business. As a church, we do not mind helping in the community, and we do it extensively. It is unfortunate that we even need to be here tonight with this, but we're not going to benefit a business that used the governmental system to their advantage.
Boy, it's going to be hard for me to shut up on this. That's the most ridiculous, mean-spirited crap I have ever heard.
Well, it's a problem because it's two different entities we're talking about.
Yes.
I understand that legally, and we also understand that legally as well. If there was a benefit gain and non-disclosure given, it's a concern to us as an entity.
Is there any reason why you, maybe I'm wrong, but if this is approved, that you could go back to the Planning Commission and ask them to reconsider that requirement?
Yes, because once it's approved, leverage is out of our hand.
I'm having an awfully hard time keeping quiet. That's one of the most unreasonable requests I've ever heard. I'm not a voting member, but that is just absolutely the most unneighborly, most unreasonable request I have ever heard.
We understand
And
that.
I've heard some pretty outrageous things.
Mr.
I've been doing
Perkins,
this for 30 years.
Mr. Perkins, I understand we're on the record, and I understand your contempt for my position, and that is fine. But understand as well, on April 14th, when we were asked to plant trees on an already tree-lined property.
Between you and a home. That's right.
But at the time, they had filed a motion for a bed and breakfast with this commission already. Is that not, in fact, a true statement?
That may be true, but to
So the
compare a
point is-
one-bedroom bed and breakfast with the
Mr.
church
Perkins,
and facilities you're
Mr.
talking
Perkins,
about.
I did not come here to argue with you.
I didn't come here to argue with you either, but I had no expectation of this kind of request being made. And I apologize, Mr. Chairman and members.
Excuse me,
but
Mr.
it just-
Perkins, my expectation here is that you're an attorney working on behalf of all the citizens in the county.
That's correct.
One family and 200 that attend a church that are very much going to be burdened by the financial stress put onto us by a family requesting a land use buffer. The issue at hand is this. We do not mind them running a bed and breakfast. We do not mind being neighborly. The issue at hand is we are required to create a land use buffer for them. So whether you, as the county attorney, Mr. Perkins, agree or disagree, bears little consequence on the fact of what this entails. This entails what is right.
We'll certainly disagree on that point, sir.
And as good God-fearing Americans, we're allowed to. But what is right and what rightfully should be done. Our issue is if we are required to build a tree line as a non-commercial entity to protect the business venture of, yes, one family, then they too, as a now commercial enterprise, should be required to do the same thing. I recognize that you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar, but there are times where it is right to speak the truth. Whether you agree with me, Mr. Perkins, or not, I very much doubt that in Board of Adjustment meetings there's been this much back and forth between the attorney and the county citizen.
Probably half a dozen times in 30 years.
I understand that. And I don't come up here lightly, but I understand the burden that was placed upon us. So, Ms. Isaacs, could we do this as a separate review? Absolutely. Would we be willing to relent in a moment if they were willing to relent of the land use buffer for a tree-lined property that is already tree-lined? Absolutely.
Well, it's not our call. You understand that?
I do.
You've got an argument with the planning commission.
I
This is
do.
a totally different
Yeah,
entity,
we
and I
have-
don't think we can deny their request on that basis, I'm sorry to say.
The judgment's already been made. We can't, you'll have to go before the, you know.
I
Back
get
before the
it.
planning
I get it.
commission.
Yeah, we have
My
nothing to do.
responsibility is to put it forward.
I understand.
My
I understand what you're saying.
responsibility, as well as a concerned citizen, is to pursue any and all action that is responsible as the leader of that body as a church.
I understand
My
that.
responsibility is to make sure that what we invest in and how we steward what we have, we do the right way. And to be blindsided on April 14th led us to this moment today. And it's an unfortunate turn of events. It is not something at all that we take lightly. I asked none of the rest of the church staff or deacons to come tonight. They don't need to endure this. I don't enjoy doing this. Mr. Perkins, I'm sorry that you and I are at odds on this, but I stand firm in what I believe. Whether you vote for or against what we're opposing is fine. You're all free and willing to do what you need to do, and I support you in that. But we oppose this land use or this conditional use approval simply on the basis that they should have in their preliminary development plan the same requirement put on them that we had. Is there any more that you need from me, Mr. Perkins?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Would the applicants like to speak?
We did not ask for a living buffer to benefit the bed and breakfast. I mean, it's our home. I mean, so we did not ask for that reason at all. And he's totally out of line to say that, you know, that's our reason for doing that. It's not. A living buffer would not benefit our bed and breakfast at all. And so I just want to make that clear.
Okay. Any questions from anybody? Entertain a motion?
I move we approve the request for the conditional use permit based on the, incorporating the conditions that the Matt has put into the recommendation.
Ms. Isaacs made a motion. I second it. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed likewise. Motion carries. Wow.
That's got a lot of nerve.
Okay, we'll move along. S-2016-15, Kevin L. Wells of 108 Pelican Way, Georgetown, is requesting a conditional use permit to operate a home business for the purchase and sale of gun parts online and at gun shows. Matt,
I could go through this application right now. The applicant isn't here for this.
okay?
We could put it off till later in the meeting if you would prefer, or we can discuss it now.
If I might, not to suggest that you need to put it off till next month, it may be perfectly fine
Or,
without.
I mean,
He
you
just
put it
says
off
for, he
till
just
the end
says
of
to the end of the
Yeah,
meeting.
but usually we do put it off to the end of the meeting, give them a
Sure,
chance to get here.
sure,
And then
that's
we can
fine.
decide. what
And
to
sometimes
do.
we do it anyway, even if we're not here.
That's right.
No, that's fine. We'll move on to No,
Yeah,
no,
right,
no,
yeah, yeah.
it's not part of the top price.
Oh,
It's not.
Okay, so we'll go to applicant S-2016-16, Carolyn and Bruce Williams of 2740 Oxford Village Lane, Georgetown, Kentucky. Mr. and Mrs. Williams are requesting a variance to reduce the rear yard setback from 50 feet to 21 feet. Matt?
Okay. The applicant's property is about 1.66 acres in size. Like the others, it's zoned A1 agricultural. Their house is, to my understanding, predates the zoning ordinance, and so their house actually right now sits closer to the property lines than the 50-foot setback allows. So their current house is sort of grandfathered in. The expansion that they're proposing on the house is not, so they need a variance for their proposed expansion. So I've, no problems with their application. I'm recommending approval, based on the fact that, their house predates the zoning ordinance. There's plenty of houses in that surrounding area that don't meet the 50-foot setback, so it wouldn't be anything out of character for that area. The two conditions that I asked that the board put on if approval is granted are very standard, that they comply with all the other parts of the zoning ordinance and the subregs, and that they obtain a building permit from the building inspection office prior to any construction.
Okay. The applicants like to speak?
Well, I think what he said was pretty clear. This is a pretty exciting meeting, by the way. I didn't. I thought this was, wow, this.
You can write a book.
Usually not this exciting.
This is just an addition of a bedroom that we're going to put on the house, and I've talked to there was only one property owner that would have any issue with it. I've already talked to them, and they're fine with it. And like he said, actually the older part of the house is closer to the property line than our addition's going to be. So
Okay.
So doesn't seem to be.
Is the church, old church
Yeah,
building on your
that's
property?
That's
okay.
that's next door neighbor, and
Yeah, okay.
they're in the house within 200 or 300 feet of
Yeah,
any of
right,
this
yeah,
stuff,
but
so.
there had been a little, like a Boy Scout, something, anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I drive by this place 5 times a day. I didn't know y'all lived there, though.
She liable to be stopping in.
Feel free.
Can I entertain a motion?
No, Eubank lives
No,
here.
he's on the
This is
opposite
where Eileen Congleton and her husband lived.
Oh, on the wrong road.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
All right. I know where that is. Oh, okay. Yes, I know where you are now. Okay.
I make a motion that we accept this.
Ms. Stamper makes a motion,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Isaacs. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, applicant approved. We thank you all very
And all
much.
your neighbors like, oh, I should be quiet.
We may come back next month just to see how exciting.
They'll probably make me behave next month.
You, Charlie, calm down.
And I think I had a good day today.
Maybe you got saving up your ire for tonight.
Thank you.
Hey.
Paul will wonder why I was so boring in his court, but
Yeah.
I'll tell him, Charlie was
vigorous
saving
there.
up.
So do you want to continue this to next month, or what?
I mean, we can hear it now.
Okay.
If you're all right with that. I mean,
Might
I
as
didn't
well.
really have any
Does the
issues
person
with the
have to be here?
application.
No.
Not necessarily. If it looks controversial or something that
yeah, if you all have questions, if there's something, that fairly significant needs to be dealt with, we can certainly put it off, but otherwise, if it's otherwise doable.
Have you talked to Mr. Wales in person about
I talked to him when he brought in his
the
application.
conditions and telling him that, or not?
I didn't talk to him specifically about these conditions, but I mean, really, these conditions are either
They're
already
standard.
part of state law
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
it's
they're
about
standard.
following
yeah.
regulations. He did indicate to me when he dropped off the application. I don't remember if I put this in the staff report, but he did indicate to me that he had an inspection from the ATF, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms department already. I don't know if he ever said that whether or not they issued him a permit or not, but
Usually they don't until they get this permit.
until they get this approved.
I
Well,
think-
one way or another, I was going to ask Mr. Wells if this is approved to be sure to send me a copy of his
Right.
permit so that I can include it in the file.
Where is Pelican Way?
That it's if you go, if I remember correctly, you go
Kingfisher Way, Pelican
towards
Way.
Frankfurt
Uh-huh.
on 460. It's I want to say on the south side of the road, on the south side of 460.
Off Frankfurt Road.
It's not. I mean, it's not directly off. I forget
Oh.
which. I can look it up.
I'm just curious, but.
I didn't know where it was either, so.
Yeah, I know. I had to look it up when I got the application. 'Cause,
And then I tried to look at the people you sent
Past Great Crossings.
the mailing list to, and I couldn't tell either.
Going up and there's something estates.
yeah, I probably should have.
Oh, yeah,
zoomed
but
out
that's,
the map a
well,
little bit
that,
more so
I
it was a
don't think
little.
that's.
Oh, that's right across from Robinson Lane. You're
Yes,
talking
Yeah.
about-
Robinson Lane.
Oh, yeah, but
Is this
that-
not the place across from Robinson Lane, or is this on further
I
out?
don't think that's just one road that goes back there. I don't think.
That's a cul-de-sac.
I was thinking there was a kind of a cul-de-sac and then a little branch off it, but it might be just one cul-de-sac. It might
think
well
it
be.
is.
Well, the way this is drawn.
Yeah, that's an actual, yeah, that's an intersection. No, you're right. There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
I think that
intersection.
the name of that road's something else, but I could certainly be
I don't
wrong.
know where that's at. Where's
So
that?
here's here's Frankfurt Pike,
Mhm.
and then if you come down Fisher's Mill. This
Oh, it's off of
it's off
Fisher's Mill.
Fisher's Mill? Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
all.
I know where you're talking about now. Okay,
Yeah.
All right.
Way out.
all right. All right.
Is that part of the Graham development? Was that his name? Oh, never mind.
I can't
didn't ask
remember.
that. Never mind.
That's off the record. All right.
It's been 2
Are
weeks
you
since
all
I made.
comfortable with approving this? or-
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
I am. I move to approve it.
Mr. Isaacs makes a motion. I second it. Second by Mr. Lancaster. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed.
I'll look at that then.
Yes. Any other business?
Nope.
Okay. Are we ever going to elect people?
I'm sorry. Did we need to elect a vice chair still?
I'm the vice chair,
That's right.
filling as
Well,
chair.
you know, it probably wouldn't be a bad plan. Well, first off, it's up to you all. You can go ahead and just have actual elections.
But with three of us,
well, but
we
if
can't
you-
have a quorum, right? I mean, there's not enough to have the meeting if one of us isn't here.
Oh, that's
Well,
true.
now, you know, that's true too. So,
That's a good point.
so
So is-
my asking for a temporary vice chair
If
doesn't
you
make a
don't
bit of
mind,
difference.
let's just wait till we get.
I think we need
Good-
need more
good point.
Indians before we get.
Very, very good point.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you
If you're
can't
not
go
here-
anywhere.
I can't go anywhere.
Pressure is on.
Meeting adjourned then.